Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Mythgard in Middle-earth. My name is Corey Olsen, the Tolkien professor, joined as always by my friend Gryfflet. What? Are you trying to sneak up and steal that book? Come on, Gryfflet, for the last time. Look, there is a line for the book. I know there's only one book in Hytbold in 2 volumes, but like seriously, those guys over there have been waiting patiently for that book, and as soon as she's done, it's their turn, Gryfflet. So don't you be trying to sneak up and steal that book. That is really reprehensible. Anyway, so Gryfflet's going to behave himself, and we're going to still getting used to this nice new armor here, and looking for an upgrade. Cosmetic upgrade to his cloak along the way, of course, as we go. But in the meantime, he's going to wear this cloak in memory of Rodnir. All right. So here's my question. I have a question to start off with because I'm not sure here. I'm kind of torn myself. My question is, should I do any of these quests up here or not? We've got the these supplier kind of quests, right? So like there's like this dude here, right? Do we oh wait, I can't even do this one. All right, well that's fine, so forget that one. So I'm like, my inclination is just to say, you know what, let's go on to Wildermore. I don't have to be, I'm not being like thoroughgoing in my completionism with Gryfflet. Like you'll notice I'm not grinding through all the deeds and everything in every region that we do. You'll notice my my discretion in that regard. I do, like, my goal with Gryfflet now is I want to do the whole story, right? I want to be like consuming and appreciating the whole story of the game. So I'm trying to chase down all the quests if I can, but again, there's quests and then there's quests. Okay, so they're similar to the other kinds of dailies. Edith says they aren't appreciably different from the other dailies that we've done. So okay, good, no problem. Then I'll tell you what. Let us continue on with the main story. Then let us go on to Wildermore, which is pretty fun and exciting here. So that means we're going to leave the newly completed and reconstructed town of Hytbold here behind us, and we're going to head off into new territory, breaking new story ground that I have never done before. Bye, Edgal. It's been great. We'll visit, possibly, again later. Edgal, don't forget the wood pile still needs stacking over there, okay? So let's try to straighten that up before we come back. All right, so I think we need to go to Harwick. We need to go to Harwick to get one of our vector quests. Right, yeah, I've got to speak with Harding about Wildermore. Exactly. Oh, wait a second. Hang on. What's this one? Bring the battered harp to Horn at the crossing of the Entwash? Is that what I'm meant to do? That's not like the one, because isn't there... Oh, right, there's... Yeah, 11 is the one where you skip things. This is the one that enables you to, like, skip Wildermore if you want to or something? Yeah, okay. All right. Oh, yeah, no, I'm totally doing both, though. I just wanted to make sure that I had the right quests there in line. Okay, great. Excellent. All right, so let's talk to Harding while we're here and see what he has to say about Wildermore. And then we'll go back and we'll find Horn, because obviously we don't want to go to Wildermore without Horn and Corridon. And, of course, who knows exactly where Nonna is. We've sort of left Horn and Nonna some time ago now in the midst of their relationship drama. We, of course, will have to see how that turns out. All right. Let's see. What do we got? Harwick. Oh, boy, it's been forever since I've been here. Hey, guys. Hey, I was wondering, guys, do you have shield maidens here? Because I wasn't, like, really looking before. I see, yeah. Okay, see, the only maiden in this room is looking disconsolate, right? Sitting with a tankard in her hand with her back to these other guys, right? Look at this. Nobody's paying attention to this maiden here. She looks lonely. I'm just saying, right? I mean, or bored or something. And, like, all these guys are standing with their backs to her. That's just unkind, you know? Phil, I agree. She kind of looks like she wishes she could be a shield maiden, right? I'm guessing from the look of this poor girl here that, like, you should emigrate to the Sutcrofts, lady. Like, seriously, they did. Let's see, any, no, right? Though they seem to be heavy drinkers here, the maidens of the Wold. Oh, wait, hang on. Voila. Okay. So, yes, answer yes. Shield maidens of the Wold, check. Okay. Okay. So I guess it's one or the other. Like, you're either a shield maiden or a heavy drinker. I guess you can't rule out both. Or a minstrel, right? Harpist looks like a third option here. Okay, so fine. Interesting. All right. Anyway, sorry, Aldor Harding. I've left you standing for. You look really cross, but you're not dead, so that's good. Okay. Let's see. Oh, hang on. Let's do the font thing. I am concerned for my northern domain, the land of Wildermore. The trade routes there have never been so quiet before. Many who venture there have not returned. Will you investigate? Of course. I hear rumors, but they sound more like old wives' tales to me. Really? Now that's interesting. It may be that old wives remember much that was once, thought good for the wise to know, but we'll see. That's a hopeful lead-in. Okay. Dude, Harding, I'm sorry, you're right. It's been a long time since I got this quest, but forgive me, Harding. Okay, no one is, right, no one's coming and going. Silence is always the most troubling news to receive of a land in my domain. Will you ride north, Gryfflet, and see what there is to be seen? I grow worried for the people of Wildermore, where Garwig is reeve and forelaw. Okay. All right. Garwig. We shall find Garwig. No problem. Okay. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Pardon me. Okay, so now we'll head back to the Sutcrofts and we'll pick up the Wildermore line from there. I gotta go fetch Horn and Corridon to bring them along. All right. So. All right. Well, I think I think I have the harp. Yeah, I did find the harp, Pine Leaf. So I just need to turn in that quest. So I think I'm ready to turn it in. Fortunately, because yeah, I defined the harp. Vague memories of this, killing random orc and recovering battered harp. Very vague memories. It was like weeks ago, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Let me go to Snowbourn, I guess. Guess I could just cheat and mythical coin myself there, but hey, it's all right. Okay, yeah, so we're on the move here, and now one thing I would point out, we're pretty much out of backlog lore questions, so I'm open for lore questions here. There's not a stable master up there, is there? I don't think so. Yeah. No, don't think so. Hey, look, it's Forlaw. But we gotta go there the old-fashioned way first. Hey, look, and on cue, it turns out that Jesse D was just in the midst of typing one. Very good, Jesse D. So let me see. Hang on. All right, let's see. Jesse D says, I'm rereading the Silmarillion, and I've just come across the Oath of Feanor. Yeah, and the question struck me. How exactly does the oath work? What stops them from going after each other? Whoso should hold or take or keep a Silmaril? Are the Feanor and Sons group exempt from the result of the oath due to them all swearing it? Do they actually need to know who has held a Silmaril, or do they just get the sudden urge to stab a merchant in Beleriand? Okay, great questions. So, yes, I do believe that they all speak as if the Feanorians are exempt from the oath. Why can't I perform mounted skills here? Is there any good reason? Am I still in the confines of the... No, I'm not. Okay. I'm just trying to put on my invisibility hat, that's all. Anyhow, yeah, so they all speak as if there's no, like, rivalry. There's no indication of any sort of... like rivalry among them for the Silmarils. We can see this most explicitly, of course, at the end. The end of the Feanorians, when Maglor and Maedhros get the last two Silmarils, and they decide that it is fitting that each should have one, since they're the only two left of their brothers, and there are two, Silmarils left that they find. Am I going the right way? Vaguely, yes, I am. So, there's no... what would have happened had, there been 5 of them and they had gotten 2 Silmarils? I don't know. Would they have, joint custody over the Silmarils? Would they have had to, have weekend visitation rights? I don't know. No idea what would have happened there. Obviously, had Feanor himself still been alive, he would have claimed them, no question. But again, but there's no real sense of rivalry, as I say, among them, as far as I can see. So, in that sense, they do seem to be exempt. The oath would not drive them to then kill all each other until only one of them is alive. But I don't think it's impossible to imagine that. Especially if some of the other, Curufin, I don't trust Curufin at all. Could I imagine Curufin turning on his brothers and trying to claim the Silmarils for himself? I have to admit, kind of can. So, Druid's Fire, would that have precipitated some PvP action among the Sons of Feanor? Can't rule it out. But again, there's no indication that that's how the oath would work. In fact. But as for the other half of your question, do they actually need to know who has held a Silmaril? Do they just get the sudden urge to stab a merchant, right? They just no. They aren't, there doesn't seem to be any draw for them to, they're not somewhere there's a Silmaril off in that direction, right? And I just need to go, and then and they when they're in the presence of a Silmaril, they're can detect it and feel the irresistible compulsion to kill that person and take the Silmaril. No, that doesn't seem to be how it works at all. It's the knowledge of their oath unfulfilled that drives them. When they know that there is a Silmaril, especially when they know that there's a Silmaril that is attainable, right? Maedhros and Maglor don't seem to be further driven to try to get Eärendil's Silmaril once he's up in the sky, right? Once it's been actually made into a star and is wholly inaccessible to them, they seem to be kind of okay with that, right? But if they know that a Silmaril is available, and I use the word available fairly loosely, they can't. They have to go for it. They have to. The knowledge of their oath unfulfilled torments them. That suggests some kind of actual pain. The word torment is often used even as a synonym for the word torture. So when I take it that they actually like experience pain, if they know that they could be doing something to fulfill their oath and they're not, that it will cause pain. But again, it's the knowledge. What they don't know wouldn't hurt him. So, you know, I think that would be, I don't know, maybe an end around the oath, right? If you like could contrive a situation where you were convincingly given false information so that you thought the Somerals were all three of them up in the sky, for instance. Like if they just, you know, the host of the West had just like not told Mithros and Magor about the Somerals, would they have been able to? I don't know. I'm, you know, not sure about that, but it does seem to be the knowledge of them, not the mere like presence of them. Okay, Horn. Yeah, I do say a harp. That seems an odd choice of weapon for use by Saruman's minions. Well, yes. Horn's jovial expression disappears when you hand him the battered remains of the harp. I know this instrument. How often did I listen to its beautiful music, played first to instruct and only later to entertain. This is the harp of my mentor Gléowine. Did he run afoul of Saruman's minions, oh dear? Poor Gléowine. Oh wait, I gotta get a quest reward. Hang on, sorry. I would like a sealed bridal setting of savvy. Really? Okay. In combat warsteed endurance regen. That sounds handy. Plus max difference of range skills. Wow. Okay. Well, how about clout? What does clout give me? Added strength and added and just a pile of extra endurance. And then strength and attack duration. Clout is kind of tempting. I think I'm going to go with savvy, though. That sounds pretty awesome. Oh, man. Yeah, and the string's cut. That's terrible. The wooden frame has been splintered. It could be repaired given enough time and the right materials. Might the same be true of my master? Could he also be repaired given enough time and the right materials? Gléowine is not a young man, and he never was much of a warrior. With his dismissal fresh in his mind, did he stumble upon the thrall of that thrall of Saruman's and meet his end? Horn sadly studies the broken harp. I cannot think this way. He could still have escaped that fate and made his way to a settlement. Snowbourn is not far from here to the southeast. We should go there and ask for sign of my master. Okay, let's look for Gléowine. Excellent. Yeah. Hologros says, I know people who make harps. Splintered harps cannot be repaired all that easily. Yeah, I wouldn't think so, but, you know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, now, Matthias, great follow-up here. Matthias says, how does the oath work when the elves die? Would they continue to be tormented by it after they ended up in Mandos? Yes. I would say yes, because when elves die, elves, of course, all elves are divided into two parts. You have their fea and their hroa. Their fea is their spirit or soul, and their hroa is their body. Of course, when an elf dies, by definition, elf death, or what is called death, because it's like death, death is the separation of the soul and the body. That's, you know, Tolkien's working definition of death. And so when the Fea and the Hroa, and when the Hroa is put out of commission, right, if something happens to the body, or the Fea just decides to vacate, but usually it's because, you know, the body is decommissioned in one way or another. Wait, where am I going? What am I doing? I'm talking to a guard at the entrance or stables. So hang on, let's go. I just like blew past the guards. Yeah, there he is. Big old quest ring and everything. Hey there, Colinan? I'm sorry, but I've not seen anyone of that description. There have been many ragged folk streaming into Snowbourn of late. It is possible your friend came in a crowd and I just did not see him. You might try south of here by the barracks. There was a disturbance there earlier today, what with all those new people in town. Okay. Alright. Let's go look for Gléowine in town. Hang on a second, actually. I forgot. I meant to look at my legendaries for a second, of which I have almost none. And they're all maxed. But, what level is this? Minimum level 85? Okay. Okay, so let me actually go ahead and all right. Okay, yeah, I'll add that setting. So I'll go down. I'll also do that in the south part of town. Cool. All right. Yeah, I gotta use my my quest gift there. Anyway, okay. So as I said, Fea and Hroa. So when the body is decommissioned, the Fea returns to Valinor. Now, the important thing is that there's like total continuity there. The mind and memory of the elf remains intact when they go to Mandos. So, the one sort of most immediate question would be, in order to try to figure out if the oath is set to rest by death, would be like, where is the how do I have to deconstruct this? Yeah, Relic Master can yes, he can. There we go. Okay, hang on. Can I do this? Ah. Yeah, slot that baby. All right. Excellent. Okay. Strong work there, Gryfflet. All right. Anyway, as you were. So, because if, you know, in one sense, of course, there's no reason that the oath would die with them unless it was like tied to their bodies in some way, which would seem really unlikely, right? Really unlikely. So I would think it would certainly must be in their Fea, in their Fear, which is the plural, in their spirits, in their wills, right, is where the oath would reside. So I would think that the spirits of the Feanorians, when they went to Mandos, would still be subject to the oath, but they can't. The fulfilling of it is out of their power. They are inmates in the House of Mandos. They can't. There's nothing they can do there. I'm supposed to be searching. Is this isn't the barracks? Is it this tiny little building? Where's the barracks? Oh yeah, it's right up here. Okay. Oh. Overpowering smell of it. Uh-oh! I found him! Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Hey, drowning your sorrows, my good bard? Oh, dear. Alive, but very, very drunk. With that effort expended, Gléowine drifts back into his stupor. Oh, man. Oh, hey there. What's your name? Alhil? Hey there, Alhild. Okay. He's been deep in his cups since yesterday and will be of no... I love that expression, by the way, to be in your cups. And will be of no use to anyone until he crawls out of them again. I have a few remedies that might speed the process. One of them involves a mixture of honey and water. Okay, that sounds good. And another involves the chewing of almonds. Also sounds pretty good. And I have heard that a poultice made of raw swamp cabbage can ease drunkenness when rubbed on one's forehead. I can tell you which of these I would least prefer. Perhaps one of those will help. She considers Gléowine once more after continuing. Actually, he's pretty drunk. You might need all of them. Okay. All right. So I gotta find honey, water, almonds, and swamp cabbage. Okay. All right. Very good. My goodness. About town? Where do I have to go? So a couple of these looks like mostly around town. Are there any of them outside town? Yes. All right, swamp cabbage out in the swamp, sure. Okay. All right, we'll look around for these. Okay. Right, so Matthias was guessing that Feanor might try to obtain Earendil's Silmaril. Maybe that's where we get military aircraft from. Yeah, no, that's not possible. Not possible. The halls of Mandos are in Valinor, but this is not a. Again, this is an incarceration. When you go to the halls of Mandos, the door locks behind you, and you are in Mandos's power, and you cannot escape. And you're there for some mandatory cleanup action. Okay, this is really the long way around, but that's what I get for walking and talking at the same time. Yeah. So anyway, yes, Madman Mallower, you were exactly correct. It is not from Feanor and any unfortunate attempts to try to regain Earendil's Silmaril that we got military aircraft. Military aircraft was invented by the Númenóreans. Yes, indeed. Especially in the early versions of the Fall of Númenor, the Númenóreans at the end of the Second Age were well advanced technologically. They had warships, steam engines, aircraft, and that's why when they came to Valinor, they were a very serious threat. Like the Valar were definitely at risk because they were about to get shelled, like literally shelled by the Númenóreans. And that's also why the armies of Sauron just flat gave up as when the Feanorians showed up. Why did all of the armies of Sauron run away? When Ar-Pharazôn shows up, they did that because the kitchen, right? Honeycomb. They did that because the artillery, right? I mean, the cannon of the Númenóreans like terrified them, and they ran off, and that's why Sauron then is alone and gave in. Okay. Let's look at the almonds. You don't have honey here? And yes, I think definitely Tolkien was playing off the mythological concept of a highly technologically advanced Atlantis. Tolkien explicitly called the Númenor story the Atlantis myth, his version of the Atlantis myth. So yes, that connection was very explicit in Tolkien's mind. Yeah. Nettlebrew, yeah, shots would need to be fired. That's what happened. That they came and they as soon as the cannons started going off, the orcs were out of there. They were terrified. So yep, that seems to be precisely what happened there. There we go. Honeycombs, are those no. Is there a beekeeper? Where is the... Okay. Just randomly lying about. No, don't mind if I take off with this, will they? Right? Sorry. Got a drunken bard to sober up. All right, now swamp cabbages. All right, fine. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, back to Feanor. So... there's no way that he could go after Eärendil, because even though Eärendil does at times, his ship sort of touches down in Valinor, which is, geographically not far from where Feanor is, it's completely inaccessible to Feanor because he can't leave the house. He is, as I say, incarcerated in the halls of Mandos, or in Mandos, technically, as Mandos is technically the name of the place and not the name of the guy. Namo is his personal name. Exactly. So he's and he can only, when you go to when the souls of the elves go to Mandos, they need healing. They undergo a period of compulsory healing, and they can only be released to return and get a new Hroa when Mandos decides they're good and ready. And there are some that Mandos decides, like in justice, they can't ever leave. Like that returning to new bodies is counterindicated in their situation. And Feanor is a definite example of that. We're told explicitly that Feanor is not coming back. Feanor will never get a body back because he's like not sorry. He doesn't repent of his deeds. He's got a he has a role here in this. He could achieve healing, but he doesn't. He's not gonna achieve healing. So he is absolutely locked in Mandos and cannot get out. And so therefore there is no chance of him. But I do think if they turned away from the oath, I like to think that Maedhros is able to achieve healing in the halls of Mandos. And I like to think that he can. What healing I think is going to look like for the Feanorians would be a relinquishing of the oath and being forgiven of the oath, being cleansed of the oath, so that it no longer drives them, it no longer tortures them. Otherwise, it would be enduring the torment of the oath unfulfilled while in Mandos, I think would be part of their purgatorial process. Purgatorial, by the way, is explicitly what the process is. And just to clarify, for those who don't know how purgatory works, a lot of people make mistakes about purgatory. Purgatory is not where you go to receive punishment. There's no punishment in purgatory. And it's not. There's no door between hell and purgatory. It's not like what purgatory is, the place where people who are saved go in order to be cleansed of their sins prior to going to heaven. 100% of souls in purgatory are destined for heaven. It's part of the process. There's a process involved in going to heaven in traditional Catholic doctrine. So the idea of purgatory, that your will is set in certain ways and needs correction, needs education, needs cleansing. That's the concept of purgatory. And Tolkien, of course, believed in purgatory. We see that most explicitly. We see that most explicitly in Leaf by Niggle, of course. The workhouse in Leaf by Niggle is his most detailed depiction of sort of what a purgatorial experience is like. Niggle goes through purgatory, essentially. The Halls of Mandos are also he doesn't describe in as much detail what happens there as we get in the story of Leaf by Niggle. In Niggle's case, I'm not saying that what happens to the elves is exactly that, but it's the same idea. But that the Halls of Mandos function as a purgatorial experience for the elves is explicit. Like Tolkien says that directly. Now, Yondagard. What about the final battle when Fëanor will give the Silmarils to Yavanna to revive the two trees? Yeah, that is in an early version. That comes, if I remember correctly, that comes from the Quentin Oldorinwa, which he wrote in 1933. He turns away from. So when I said that, like, Fëanor is not coming back, that's the later version of that. But the other thing that I would say is that is what happens. That's like the new heavens and the new earth, right? That's like the transition to the new heavens and the new earth. So Fëanor's even in the later version, when Fëanor's incarceration is scheduled to last as long as Arda endures, well, there still will come a time when Arda will cease to endure, right? When Arda comes to an end, and when Arda remade arrives. And at that point, in Arda remade, perhaps, Fëanor will render up the Silmarils. But Yondagard, I gotta say that version, I gave a talk on that passage. You can find it, if I'm recalling correctly, in Volume 4 of the History of Middle-earth, The Shaping of Middle-earth. I called it the Apocalypse of Tolkien because it's like one of the only versions that he wrote of like the revelation of what happens at the end of the world explicitly. And the most remarkable thing about that whole passage is the element that it has of it's like, you remember when Sam at the end of the field of Cormallen, right, when he wakes up after the destruction of the ring, he laughs when he sees Gandalf again and says, is everything sad going to come untrue? And that kind of actually is literally what happens at the end of the world in this, this revelation, this apocalypse that Tolkien wrote there in the Quentin Oldorinwa. It's like everything sad comes untrue. The Silmarils are returned, and Fëanor gives them up like he should have done, and the trees are reborn, and everything is happy, and that's but as I say, that's an early version. He never wrote anything like that again in his later life, and I can't prove it. I don't think he abandoned all of his ideas from that time, but I doubt that it would have looked the same had he rewritten, his sort of apocalypse there in the end. Oh, hey, Horn and Corridon found him too. Yeah. He's deep in his cups, but I can't say I blame his despair. Okay, well, that's fine. I'm not judging him either, Horn. Yeah. Oh, ouch. Thank you, Corridon. Yeah. Yeah, Madman Modor says it kind of reminds one of Aslan's country in the Chronicles ending the final battle. Yeah, in the last battle, yes, I agree. It is like that. Although the difference between the visions received at the end of the last battle, when the Pevensies and almost everybody goes to Aslan's country at the end of the last battle. The difference between that and the sort of the apocalypse, of Middle-earth that we get. The word apocalypse, of course, is just the Greek word for revelation. So the word of the last book of the Bible, which is generally called Revelation, is it's the Greek word is apocalypse. It's the same word. So when Tolkien wrote his Apocalypse of Middle-earth there in 1933, the difference between those two, Lewis's and Tolkien's there, is that Tolkien's involves like a redo, essentially. You could say that sad things come untrue in the sense that there's like the reunion of dead people, right? And they go back and they meet all of the old heroes of Narnia from the previous books who have died, right? I mean, things aren't coming untrue. There's not a reversal. There's not a repeat of anything. We just see the next chapter, right? It turns out that like the stories of their lives that we have seen and known is only not even the first chapter, is only like the prologue, right, to the life that they have gone on to live in Aslan's country, and the Pevensies and other characters joined them at that point, right? So there's there's that sense of the continuous story. In other words, in Tolkien's Apocalypse, in the Shaping of Middle-earth, there is instead like it's like a repeat. Like they do the scene with the Silmarils again, except it works out correctly this time, right? And the trees are reborn, and so there's more of a sense of like, we're rolling back the clock and doing it again, and not exactly doing it again, but like it's happening a second time, and this time everything is set to rights. It doesn't have that same sense of, on the other side you see what the rest of the story is going to be. So I do think that the approaches that Lewis and Tolkien, that Tolkien at that point and Lewis at that point, which is a much later point in time than Tolkien's earlier Apocalypse. Anyway, that's what I would say the difference is between the last battle and Tolkien's early Apocalypse there. Let's say they don't replay the scene where Morgoth and Ungoliant kill the trees. No. Yes, it's a restoration. It's not like we start over and do it all again, except better. It's we're going backwards. Like the sad things are going to come untrue. The sad thing, the destruction of the trees, begins by being still true, and then it's undone, right? So, yeah. I know. Sam, we gotta try to stop Gléowine twitching. He's gonna do himself an injury. Gléowine blinks up at you with bleary red eyes. You offer him water infused with honey, which he drinks easily. This mead tastes a bit watery, right? Yeah, it's true. Then you give him the almonds to chew on, but at the first bite he spits them out, and then he's sensing betrayal. Then you rub the cabbage leaves on his forehead and he sputters angrily. Are you trying to poison me? The remedy seemed to have had little effect, save to make him angry. Well, maybe that'll help. Okay. Did you hear that? I cannot blame him for his state. He has experienced much suffering of late. That's not how the text reads on the screen here, right? When they did the voiceover, they transformed it into a rhyming couplet. That's fun. That's fun. I like that. That's much better than the printed version. Okay. Sorry. Funny going on with my voice. All right. Time has always been the only sure curative. Yeah, I agree. Oh, I get to keep some swamp cabbage. Oh, that's excellent. While you were attempting to ease Gléowine back to sobriety, Corydon and I learned some troubling news. Have you ever been to the lands of Wildermore? Indeed I haven't. I myself have not, but it seems that something might have befallen the people there. A messenger in the night from Harwick brought Reeve Fostred worrisome tidings that no word has come out of Wildermore for some weeks. I too had heard that rumor, Horn. It is a long journey from Harwick to Wildermore, don't I know it. So something must be keeping Harding's men from reporting back to him. I think we should go to Wildermore and see what has happened. I suspect Saruman's hand in this. I suspect you could be right. Something catches Horn's eye and he starts suddenly. Master Gléowine, what is it? Are you feeling better? That seems unlikely. Well, he's not twitching anymore. That's a good sign. Oh, you're not getting the audio. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, my fault. My fault. I forgot to turn on the game audio for you. Anyway, at least I repeated the couplet so you could still hear it. All right. Okay, you should be able to get it now. Apologies. Okay, Gléowine, what do you say? Gléowine stares at you with haunted eyes. By the way, you'll hear I'm pronouncing the name differently. Weena. The terminal E's would be pronounced as a syllable, so it wouldn't actually be pronounced wine. It would be pronounced Weena, with stress on the first syllable, and the terminal E, a lesser syllable. So Gléowine, it would be 4 syllables, his name. Anyway, Gléowine stares at you with haunted eyes. It would seem something has cut through the stupor caused by his drink. Something has happened in Wildermore? I was born in a small town there and have not been back for years, but if something has happened, there's no reason for me to stay here, stranger, apart from the fact that you're non-ambulatory. But that's one good reason to stay here. If you're going to investigate Wildermore, I would travel with you, and it is young Horn with you, is it not? He has a man's face and build now, but I still remember the years spent teaching him the lessons of history and the ways of music. He was not the most diligent of students. I jest, of course. Who among us can say he was? I abandoned my harp somewhere in the wild and gave away my other possessions when I thought I would have no further need of them. I cannot travel with you until I have them back again. Most of them were mere sundries, but there was a map I should not have given away. I feel foolish now, for it was a rare and precious thing and belongs not in the keeping of children. Oh, you gave it to the children? I have to chase the children around? Seriously? Yeah, I know, JJ. I'm kind of making him sound like an old Western prospector. That's exactly true. That's exactly true. It's just, yeah, there we go.
I will not keep my master from traveling.
I like the old prospector voice. I think I'm going to keep Gléowine in that voice. The idea of him singing the last eulogy of Theoden in that voice is quite appealing. I'm also sure that's exactly how Tolkien imagined him. Yeah, no, I think I'm channeling it directly there. I will not keep my master from traveling with us, Gryfflet, as long as he understands the danger. If I learned of trouble in Eowyrth, I would not long remain in idle safety. I would travel there to learn if anything could be done. It must be the same for Gléowine. I will return his harp and learn what befell as he made the journey to Snowbourn. If you will seek for the map he abandoned, ask the children. Oh, yeah. They are sometimes the surest form of information in the city, for they shall all they see all and go unnoticed. One of them may know what happened to Gléowine's map. All right, I'll consult the Snowbourn irregulars here. All right, Corydon, what do you think?
I am in favor of this journey.
Excellent.
If you are.
Absolutely, Corydon, let's do this. We should go where we are needed, and if messages have ceased passing the bounds, I say we learn why. I will see about procuring Gléowine's bag of sundries, but I leave the reconstruction of his harp and the finding of his map in Horn's able hands and your own. So Horn will fix the harp, you will find the bag of stuff, and I will chase down children and get the map. All right. Let's see. Where are they? Oh, down by the gate? Okay. All right. Phil says, doesn't take rather a long time to craft a harp. He's not crafting it from scratch. He's just repairing its splinters. I'm sure he can take care of that pretty efficiently. Besides, don't underestimate how long it might take me to... Oh, wait. He's just dancing. All right, hang on. All right, stealthily. Approach with caution, Gryfflet. Oh, he's changed his dance. He's gone off into a different step. He's going to start, like, Irish step dancing now. Okay, you're a busy man.
What do you want? Can you not see how busy I am?
I know. The child laughs but keeps dancing. You explain that you're looking for Gléowine's map and would appreciate any information about its location. I remember that old man. He went off to the tavern after setting down his belongings by the wall over there. A bag of clothes there was, and a bundle of bread and cheese. I hope he does not expect his food back, because my friends ate it all. Battered took the map before any of us could get at it, and he said he was going to use it to go on an adventure to save Rohan. Oh, that sounds good. You just missed seeing him by minutes. He left by this gate here. Maybe you can catch up to him and ask for the map back. Okay. An adventure to save Rohan. That sounds excellent. Well, maybe he's got a good idea for the saving of Rohan. I'm not going to automatically assume that Battered is in the wrong here. I've been Netflixing some recently while doing my chores at home, and I finished my Marvel watch. I've watched all of the Marvel properties in chronological order now, so I finished that project. So I have been watching a couple other things. I just watched The Witcher. Finally got around to The Witcher. Not a huge fan, and it was okay, but I wasn't like blown away by it. And I'm now watching Lock and Key, which I've been looking forward to, in part because it was one of the scriptwriters on it is one of our a person from our Signum community. Who has joined us before. He was in my group. Remember when I told you guys about at SoCal Moot when we made up the story about the TV show for the Scouring of the Shire, right? Greg, who was one of the writers of that show, of that Netflix show Lock and Key, was in our group actually. So that was really fun. And anyway, while watching the first episode of Lock and Key, I was like, okay, I have an idea for like a totally new story. I wanna do a story in which a child sees something strange and witnesses something strange and bizarre and tells the rest of his family, and the rest of his family believe him implicitly and respect his opinion. That's my story. It's kind of radical. I don't know if it would fly, but that was my new idea. So I'm going to give Battered the benefit of the doubt. You know, my adventure begins. All right, let's get him. Yeah, you tank for me, man. All right, okay, all right, I got him now. You hit him in the back of the knees. Oh, maybe you should rest now. All right, he's well, he doesn't have quite as much morale as I do, but you know, he's in the ballpark. See, this kid can handle himself. And oh wait, adventuring is tough work. So he's not afraid of the danger. He's just like, yeah, you know, no, this is too much like work. Turns out. Okay. Well, I wish I knew what his plan was. Oh, he's back. Well, that's good. Bitch would like to see some stick-to-itiveness after all there. Okay. Anyway, so Phil, I have not read any of the Witcher books. It's one of the reasons I didn't like jump on The Witcher right away. I was tempted to hold off because I dislike watching adaptations before I've, like, you know, consumed the original material. And I have neither read any of the Witcher books nor played any of the Witcher games. So, you know, I was a little reluctant to jump in. In the end, after talking to I was like, you know, so I was asking some people, like, what can I do to, like, prepare myself to view this adaptation? And anyway, it just sort of seemed like probably not. It would have been long and involved, and longer and probably more involved than I had time. So I just decided to go ahead and watch it. Yeah. Anyway, as I say, did not. I didn't hate The Witcher. Thought it was okay, but my biggest problem with it was simply that, like, it was hard to follow, honestly. Hard to follow, hard to kind of get into. I kind of liked the character of the Witcher himself, but very few of the other characters I was much interested in, especially Yennefer, the sorcerer woman, whom I found pretty unpleasant, generally. And I was, like, super confused. I mean, my confusion went because I knew nothing about the world. So I was like, okay, you know, like, help me understand what's going on here. And I was still confused. I mean, it was, there's always that, I mean, it's one of the things that I'm always really interested in, that I enjoy as, like, an enjoyer and scholar of fantasy literature. I always enjoy that first moment, you know, that when you're reading a new world, or when you're being introduced to a new world, what approach does the storyteller take to immerse the viewer or reader in the new world, right? And there are several different approaches to this. Tolkien in the Lord of the Rings, especially, rendered famous one of the classic approaches, that is the exposition-heavy Chapter 2. Right, in which you sit down with Frodo and Gandalf and you learn the whole backstory, right? And that is an approach which was imitated by many people afterwards. There's also, like, the full immersion approach, right, where you just kind of plunge people in and they just kind of figure it out as you go along. And that's a perfectly legitimate approach. And there are some people who are really, really good at that. Ursula Le Guin is really, really good at the immersion approach. Brandon Sanderson is really good at the immersion approach. There are other approaches where you kind of, like, begin by focusing on sort of points of contact, so that, like, the world doesn't feel weird or different. And you only sort of slowly get introduced to the things that are different about the world over time. I would say, for instance, that The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan is a good example of that approach, right? Where you in the first chapters, right? You're just like, you're in the village, and, you know, with, like, what seems a perfectly normal village full of perfectly, like, mundane people, which of course turns out to be quite the opposite of the case in reality, but you don't know that at first, and it's only, and then one element, you know, then you get the Trollocs who come, and then you get the Murdral who comes, and then some indication of mysterious background, and then so, like, one thing, you know, so things are added incrementally rather than just plunging you into a world of strangeness. You're plunged into a new world, but it doesn't feel different, right? And then it slowly increases. Anyway, there are lots of different approaches to this. The immersion approach, again, totally legit, but I was like, my head was spinning. By the end of the first episode, I'm like, I am so confused right now. I don't understand who anybody is or what's happening. Why did anybody just kill each other? I don't really know. I was having a difficult time with it, and it never totally went away. Like, there kept being new things that introduced, and I kind of, you know, had my bearings to some extent at the end, but I was still, like, I didn't really feel. I watched the whole first season, you know, and at the end I was like, I didn't emerge feeling like, okay, I'm familiar with this world now. Like, I understand how this works. Every monster that they met, still, I was like, I don't, like, okay, like a new random monster. I don't understand the principles. I don't see the patterns. know how it works, anything, right? It's just like, okay, there's another random thing, which, what connection does it have? You know, I don't know. I was always, I had a hard, so that was another thing that I just, so between what was to me that I couldn't really get into the quests of the sort of goals and perspectives of the people. I had a hard time investing in it, other than the little girl, but anyway, I did really like the narrative technique, though. The time thing that they did was awesome. That was really cool. That was worth it, watching the season just for that. The way the timelines came together was really genius. But that was my favorite thing. Yeah, Matthias, that's another really good example. William Gibson is really good at full immersion. Yes. He just expects that you will understand all the terms he's throwing around. Exactly. But the point, Matthias, is that before too long, you do, right? Exactly. But that's, yes, I agree. He's another good example of that kind of full immersion approach. Yeah. Yeah, good. Okay.
Thank you. I hope it was not too much trouble.
Oh, yeah. No problem. We helped save Rohan as well, so that was also good. Let's see. Gléowine unrolls the parchment and wistfully traces a finger along its surface. The life of a minstrel is... Sorry, I got to do my Western prospector voice. The life of a minstrel is more than just music and songs, Gryfflet. I served in the court of Theoden King for so long, I came to forget the roads I walked in my youth. But now, well into my elder years, I once again tread the roads of Rohan and live the traveling life. How many of the places on this map will I see before my feet stop once more and for good? Who can say? Yet I know what I, Gléowine, can say. I am pleased to make the journey with friends both old and new. Okay, I'm kind of in love with my Gléowine voice now. It started off being drunk guy, but like now Western prospector. Okay, what's not to love? Okay. Thank you, Gléowine. So glad you're joining us.
Before we go to Wildermore, we must travel to Harwick, in the Wold.
Darn tootin', JJ, exactly. Okay. I think we are ready to depart. My master has his map and the other possessions he will need, and I have arranged for a fresh horse for him to ride. Better arrange for a spittoon and some sarsaparilla as well. I spoke with Reeve Fastred while you were outside the city. He remains as stubborn as ever, refusing to entertain the idea that he could more easily defend his people on the other side of the river. The message from Harwick was just as I had heard secondhand, portentous and frightening. No word has come to Harwick from Wildermore for many days, and Harding desired men and horses from Foster to investigate. Before we go to Wildermore, we must travel to Harwick in the Wold and speak with Aldor Harding. Kinda already did that. Wish I'd known that you'd send us there again, and I would have waited, but that's okay. I must give him the unfortunate tidings that Foster has no men to spare. He sends us, and that is all. But let's be honest, Horn, it is more than enough. Okay. Ginjar is wondering why everybody's yee-hawing. Yeah, exactly. No men to spare? Well, fiddlesticks. I guess we're hornswoggled. I suppose so. Well, look, Harding is not a Western prospector. Okay, all right, hang on. How do we, all right, so it's a shortcut here. Okay, all right. Okay, no, this is an excellent innovation. Now I feel like I need to make up improbable accents for Horn and Corridon as well. It seems only fair. Oh wait, hang on. I'm going the wrong way now. All right. Okay.
Our mission is dire.
Back to Harwick for our dire mission. So, sorry, Mikey, what's going on? What in the wide world of sports is going on here? So what happened was we just were doing we just met Gléowine when he was drunk down in Snowbourn because we're heading up to Wildermore. And I was reading Gléowine's dialogue, and I started off trying to do a drunk voice, right? Because he was completely inebriated. But by the end of the speech, it had shifted, as JJ pointed out, from drunk voice to Western prospector accent. And so now I've just decided that I love the idea of Gléowine, the king's bard of Rohan, speaking in Western prospector voice. And so I just read the latest of his speeches in Western prospector voice, and that's why everybody was yee-hawing and and all that kind of thing. So that's what's happening. Anyway, okay. All right. Hey, Harding.
Yes? What word from Fastred?
Good.
So far away and comfortable.
So far away and comfortable. Really? Okay. I mean, he's far away. Yeah, that's true. I guess he's comfortable. I mean, it's true that hunting down orcs in the, in the Sutcrofts is his happy place, right? I mean, that's his comfort zone. So, okay, I can go with that. I agree. Harding snorts when you tell him Fastred has sent the four of you to aid him in investigating Wildermore. I appreciate your help, of course, Gryfflet, but if Fastred thinks you are his descend, he is mistaken. This does not satisfy his obligation. I am Aldor of the North March. If my lands are threatened, all our lands are endangered. We have heard naught from Wildermore for many days now. The last party to travel that road consisted of several brave men. Weedfara? Weedfara? Really? He's a celebrity. A rider of some repute, I would say. And my own son Leodwig. He would have returned if no others did. His courage is not what I would wish, but he too remains missing. Learn what has befallen my men and what evil has taken hold of Wildermore. That land is too near to Harwick for any of us to rest easy. You remember who Weedfara is? Does anybody recall? Somebody must recall. Weedfara's role. He's in the Lord of the Rings, right? He's a named person, but fortunately not one of those with the really ominous names, right? That is like, we know his name, but we don't know his name just from the eulogy. So that's happy. Exactly, Edith. Yes, he's the guy who smells the sea tang in the air, who says to Theoden, that the wind is changing, right? That that Khan speaks true. Yeah. So he's not the standard bearer, but it's clear that he is a rider of some repute. You can tell how he's near enough to Theoden to speak up, right? When that whole situation arises. If he were not a rider of some repute, he wouldn't be riding so near to the king during the last approach to the battle there. So it's clear that he must be a fairly important guy, but he's not one of the marshals or anything like that. He is kind of a guy from the rank and file in a sense, but he's clearly has some standing, or as I say, he wouldn't be there at all. So I'm excited to meet Weedfara because he's both famous and not doomed. So that's good. Okay. Oh, wait, hang on. I just blew past Gléowine. I just blew past him. We've got to talk to Gléowine again. Where'd he go? Is he still liquored up? Oh, he must be off over here. With, like, the dailies, folks? Oh, no, he's up on the porch. He's up on the porch. Here he is. What do you say, Horn?
I think Harding took it rather well.
Yeah, okay. I agree. That could have gone worse. Where's Cordon? All right, what's his map of? Oh. Whoa. Hmm. 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 I still don't know. What is that map? Oh, wait. I'm upside down. That's what the problem is. Yeah, that map looks familiar. Okay. Okay. Right. Sure. Is that right? No, maybe not. Is it backwards? They have it upside... Is it mirror reversed? No. Yeah, this is Mirkwood over here. Yeah. Yeah. Mirkwood. This big old smudge would be Moria. Yeah, there's the Gulf of Linden. That's what I was noticing from how I knew I was upside down. There's Evendim. There. Trollshaws. Okay. Okay. This is a big map. Makes you all the more surprised that that kid was able to... sorry to get in your personal space there, Horn. Surprised that that kid was able to find adventure in such a proximate kind from this map. All right, Gléowine.
A road runs into Wildermore. See on the map where it leads?
That's just not right. Our road runs into Wildermore, as we knew it must. See on the map where it leads? Okay. Completing this quest will unlock an optional interlude. Yeah. Optional interludes? Who doesn't love optional interludes? I wouldn't miss an optional interlude. I've got time. Gloves of the Encroaching Winter. Oh, I love it. Love it. Not an upgrade, but...
I was born in Wildermore. I am eager to see it again.
Okay. Interludes. Ready? Harding's interest in the state of Wildermore is not surprising, for he is the Aldor of the North March. Sorry. This just doesn't stop being funny. It falls within his command, and if something has happened to its people, it is his duty to know. My interest in Wildermore is more personal than that, Gryfflet. I was born in the town of Dunfast, a small village in the forest of the Witch Haws. As a young boy, I must have climbed to the top of every sturdy tree within a mile of the village, and the view from the heights is well known to me, and much beloved. Green fields and sunny hillsides, the crystal blue waters of the Isingmere, the beauty of well-tilled farm fields. You can see little enough of that from my map, Gryfflet. In fact, you'll notice that Wildermore doesn't, in fact, appear on my map at all, if you look closely. But the words and symbols stir my heart and make me think of home. Speak to Horn for more practical guidance and to discuss our next steps. I tread too easily upon steps of memory, as minstrels are wont to do. Oh, man. This is fantastic. Just fantastic. Okay. There's Mithro in them thar hills. Alright.
This then is our quest, to investigate the disappearance of Harding's men.
Right. Okay. The ones he sent into Wildermore. Yeah, we gotta find Weed Fada! If we don't find Weed Fada, things are not gonna work out at all. Okay, Weed Fada, a rider of no small skill, and Leodwig, Harding's own son. Horn traces out a course on Gléowine's map. We're going to the North Downs, are we? We will ride north out of... Well, okay, that's pretty far north. We will ride north out of Harwick and follow the road through the Wold until it turns west. That turning will bring us into Wildermere. Okay. This area here, do you see it? The land is called Riven Downs. And the first settlement we should investigate is this one here, Skulfig. Okay, Skulfig. Located in its northern bounds. At its northern bounds. What do you think of this course? I am ready to take it if you are. Let's do it. The Riven Downs. Your eye is drawn west across the map, beyond the borders of Rohan, and comes to rest upon the rocky hills of Dunland. You wonder what has become of Halbarad and the Grey Company since you left them. Yeah. Okay. Oh, it's an instance into... Oh, we get to be Halbarad. Fantastic. This is excellent. Okay. Yeah, it should be the SH sound fill. The SC should be Schulfig. Schulfig. So it's not just Schulfig, it's Schulfig. That first syllable is really fun to say. Schul. Schul. Yeah. Schulfig. Yep. Definitely. Okay, back to Dunland. Oh man, I haven't seen a Dunlending hut in ages.
Meanwhile, Halbarad of the Dunedain struggles to decide the best course of action for the rangers under his command.
All right, here we are in Edras. I've never done this before. This is totally new to me. Okay. So wait, weren't they betrayed in Edras and taken prisoner and stuff? Like, didn't everything already hit the fan in Edras? I'm really confused. What is meant to be the chronology of this session play? All right, over here. What's up? Oh, wow. Not even letting me expand the text here. No. Okay. Fine. My brother returned from his sojourn in the mountains, and he says a small group of warriors makes their way hither. More of the Falcon clan, I asked him, but he was not certain. He has gone back with Radenir to cut them off before they arrive. Okay, so it's post-betrayal. So they've escaped from the Falcon clan. And so we're here in Edras, but the Falcon clan is gone. Now the remnant of the Falcon clan is gone. Okay. Elro here pauses, and you can tell he is struggling to find the right words. Soon he continues. We have been through much, my friend, and will certainly see more danger before we find Aragorn. But I feel I must ask, why do we linger in Edras? I understand that much hurt was done to us here, and the desire to avenge our fallen is great, but delay may prove as deadly. Yeah, thank you for your wise words, Elro here. Then you agree that the time has come to leave this place? I am glad to hear it. You should tell your men it is so. Some of them have expressed a desire to leave soon. I bet they have. Who would want to hang out here? Nice, slow dialogue. I like it. Okay. I gotta talk to other folks. Oh wait, there's somebody right here. Let's see, there's Cyrodion. Oh, not again. Oh, frequent earthquakes? Really? What's up with that, Cyrodion? Why are you hiding in the tree? The rumbling in the earth is getting worse, Halbarad. I do not like it. Cyrodian listens as you explain that it is time for the Grey Company to leave Edras. That is wise. I have already decided it was time to leave, and I wanted to see if you agreed with me. I wish to leave Edras, but I wish to travel north, not south. What? Aragorn isn't north? Cyrodian sees your puzzled expression and hurries to explain. Many of our brothers have fallen on this road, and it grieves me to think they must be laid to rest in these hostile southern lands. They are Dunedain. They should be brought back to the northern lands they held dear. I propose to bring their bodies by wagon back to their homes. Really? A funeral procession, Cyrodian? Aragorn needs us! I do not wish to abandon Aragorn, but our brothers deserve better than they have gotten. You agree? Not really. Thank you, Halbarad. I will see to making the arrangements at once. I mean, it seems a little much. Like, proper burial, sure. But, like, really? We're going to transport them all the way to the north? And, like, you know, not to be, like, too explicit about this, but, like, the bodies are not going to be in any kind of a good shape by the time you get back up to the north. So, that being the case, why not take them back up to the north by way of, you know, Minas Tirith? Oh man, another earthquake, and now Corridon's, what, weapon stash got all thrown askew? Oh man. Hey, Galadriel. Coronir and I have been collecting the weapons the Falcon clan left behind when we drove them into the caves. This accursed shaking in the earth is making it more difficult than it need be. Galadriel listens as you explain your decision for the Grey Company to continue on its road, and his face becomes a thundercloud. That is an impossibility, Halbarad. We cannot leave yet. Hugh Brennan still lives, and his cronies. He has cronies? Wow. You cannot have forgotten. It sounds like Hugh Brennan is off, you know, like, you know, having a pint with his mates. You cannot have forgotten the wounds he gave us and the lives his treachery cost. We must have our revenge upon him before we go. Oh, Galadriel, I get it. It's too dangerous for us to leave this company behind us. Hugh Brennan must pay for his betrayal. Okay, yeah. I agree with Galadriel. The Falcon clan is too dangerous to ignore. Well, it's true. We might have to fight them again later if they come back, but okay. Hey, Colin Glad, she's still not into you, man. Sorry to break this to you again. I did feel those rumblings and was kind of wondering what that was about. It almost sounds as if, well, yes. Colin Glad trails off embarrassed. You prompt him to continue, but his tone remains sheepish. Well, it sounds as if a great beast was running beneath the earth, shaking the ground with the fury of its passage. Could such a creature be? You may think such musings are the province of children's tales, but I have seen many strange and wondrous things in my life, Halbarad, and learning of these wonders keeps me putting one foot before the other. If there is such a beast, we must know if it poses a threat to our people and the good people of Dunland, mustn't we? Sorry, I'm trying not to read everybody as a Western prospector now. I cannot say with absolute certainty that the shaking of the earth is not a threat to us. Nor can I disprove the idea that it is being caused by a monster running around beneath the earth. Very plausible. Okay. All right, Rodnir. I'm forgetting. Where did we meet Rodnir? Originally? Where was he from? Coronir, I remember, was the guy we met at Alcair up in Angmar, and Cowan God, of course, was the guy who's in love with the lake, and Cyrodian, of course, has the cottage, the little cabin near Bree. Where was Rodnir? I don't remember. In the Trollshaws? Oh. Up in the northern bit of the Trollshaws? Was he the one by the campfire? I mean, was he the one sitting by the campfire? It's not very specific, I know. No, but the one sitting by the campfire in the north Troll shot. Okay, all right. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. I think I'm trying to remember too, Sam. I don't recall. But I always like to remember when we interact with the other rangers, the sort of the full story. That's the gorgeous thing about the writing of the Great Company story, as Lotro depicts it, that I just love. Volume 3 is so wonderful in that way. Okay, troll shots. Yep. All right. Excellent. Okay. You have stumbled into the middle of a surprise attack. Are you willing to fight alongside me? What? Oh, you are on the right side of the ambush this time. We are doing the ambushing. Eladon and I have lured a small group of the Falcon clan back here. They think they have us on the run, but they are about to be surprised. Okay. I thought we were fighting the monster beneath the earth. Okay. Oh, we're sneaking. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Whoa. What do these do? Gray courage. I can draw upon to inspire myself to great acts of strength. Hey, let's do that. Yeah. Hooray! We slew them. Oh, it's Prestidir. I don't remember him at all. Sorry, I'm not used to being on this side of an ambush. You chose not to help because you were busy working on your wit. I cannot accept this. We cannot leave without dealing with the Falcon clan. Oh man, Golidir is putting his foot down. Where was Prestidir? I feel like Gandalf. I have no memory of this place. Anybody remember Prestidir? Mirkwood. Okay. That would explain why, because I've encountered him fewer times than I've encountered the rest of them. Okay. Okay. Haunted Inn. Right. Sure. Okay. All right, Prestidir. This is the situation in which we find ourselves, Halbarad. The Falcon clan harries us from the mountains and caves into which they fled. The earth shakes and rumbles more and more with each passing day. Our numbers diminish the further south we travel, brothers and friends lost to death or to urgent need in distant lands. You are our leader. What road or roads do we take from here? How then does the Grey Company proceed? Prestidir looks at you expectantly, and you know you must dispatch some members of your group to deal with each of these situations. How about we leave all these situations behind and go find Aragorn, which is what we're meant to be doing? For now, you must think upon how best to deal with the various roads ahead. Oh, that's it? I thought I was going to get to deal with it. Oh well. Yeah, I know. We'll get the chance. You will have your chance, Golidir. All right. Oh, good. We'll get more interludes. Excellent. Yeah, Mikey Geek says, I guess the quest was just to be worried about it. Exactly. Yeah, we've accomplished our quest there. Uh-oh. Oh, here we go. Thought it was hanging up on the load screen, but it's loading now. Okay. Ah, the reference to urgent deeds in distant lands be to the PC leaving the Grey Company. Yeah, probably. Yeah, good call. I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, well, that's nice. Come on, you can do it. We can escape this session play. There you go. All right. Phew. Yeah, no thank you. Oh, almost time. We do it again? No, this is the same thing? It's a repeatable quest that I previously completed. Okay, yeah, we're good. Okay. All right. Okay, so we head to Schulfig. Find people of Wildermore. That's it? Find people of Wildermore? We just have to find anybody? So I've got one quest to like locate particular people in a particular town, and another one just to find anybody in the whole countryside. Okay. All right, so this is where all right, so we're heading up. We're not going to go up. We're not going to go by way of like down by Cliving. We're going to come through up here. Fine. Okay. All right. Let's go. We've got a few minutes, so let's ride up to the border there. We will ride up to the edge of Wildermore, and then next time we shall enter. But let me let's talk about next time, because I will not be here next week, and for an excellent reason, because next week is Myth Moot. It is the big annual conference of Signum University. I will be participating in Myth Moot all day long next Friday and Saturday and Thursday night and Sunday morning. Myth Moot is happening. And Myth Moot is completely virtual this year, so everybody can participate. I strongly recommend. Am I going the right way? Where am I? Get out of here. Okay. Strongly suggest that you consider coming. It's going to be a great time. So Myth Moot, we have 2 different registration levels for Myth Moot, because we went totally virtual with it this year, which I really resisted because I really hate doing that. Myth Moot is like the one chance that we get. Signum, we're online all the time, right? So like doing online events is kind of not special for us because it's like every week we do that. So we get one chance a year to like all come together and have a big event. So I was hoping that we might still be able to do that. But of course, it's really just not possible this year. So we are going virtual. But I am determined that we will lose as little as possible of the experience of being able to get together and reconnect as we do every year at Myth Moot. So we have 2 different levels of participation. One is designed mostly for asynchronous participation. So you can enroll in Mootcast, which is the registration level, which enables you to listen to all of the keynote addresses, all of the paper sessions. So you'll be able to hear talks from Verlin Flieger and Tom Shippey and Amy Sturgis and John DiBartolo. That's all gonna be really cool. And of course, like paper presentations and stuff, like you can listen to Druid's Fire's presentation. She's doing a presentation at Myth Moot this year. You can participate in my my poetry workshops. I'm gonna be doing some close poetic analysis of some of the poems that I find hardest to understand in the Lord of the Rings. And then I'm doing another session where we're going to be looking at some of the incredibly brilliant lyrics and just the dazzling prosody of Eminem in his latest album. So it's going to be so cool. I'm really looking forward to this. Anyway, that's where we're so if you sign up for Mootcast, Stephen, you're doing so JJ's going to be doing a presentation this year too. Awesome. I haven't seen the full list yet myself. I don't do the planning for Myth Moot, so I'm kind of I learn about these things the same time everybody else does. Anyway, so if you sign up for Mootcast, you will be able to attend all of those regular sessions, and you will, what's even better, you will get access to the archives of recordings of all of these things, so that This means when we have concurrent sessions, you don't have to choose like which ones you go to and you miss all the other ones. You can go through and watch any of them that you want. So Mootcast is the best way to enroll, especially if you're not going to be able to participate live in the sessions during the weekend. The dates are from the 6th through the 9th, next Thursday through Sunday are the dates of Mythmoot. But if you're going to be kind of coming and going during that time and not going to be able to regularly participate, Mootcast is a really great option. You're able to get recordings from all of those things. But we have another registration level called Moot Hub, and Moot Hub is live access to all of the synchronous goings on. So there you get everything that you get from Mootcast. You get access to all the presentations, of course, and access to the archived recordings. But in addition, there's a number of more informal events and social activities and things that we're doing. We're doing a whole sort of social interface that we're going to be using. And so, because like the really cool thing about Mythmoot, the thing I was most reluctant to lose are the opportunities just to hang out, get to know each other better. Not only to hear Vrouwenflieger give a talk, but to have dinner with her, sit at her table in the dining hall and hang out with Vrouwenflieger, to, talk to her in the hall and ask her questions one-on-one. So we're going to have, some extra Q&A sessions. We're going to have some special kind of hangout times. Usually we sit around the fire pits and talk until 3 o'clock in the morning at Mythmoot. We're going to have those kinds of opportunities to be able to hang out and talk and everything. So we're hoping to make it as sort of immersive, connecting experience as it can be. And that's what Moot Hub is. So if you can't participate in real time, those things aren't going to be recorded. So, there will be no access to that after the fact. It's an event. If you miss it, you miss it. But if you can make it, Moot Hub is really cool. So those are the different levels of participation there. So strongly encourage you, signumuniversity.org/mythmoot. Druid's Fire just posted the link. You're all invited to come. It's going to be really, really awesome. And that's where I'll be next week. So I won't be here streaming next week. So Gryfflet will have to wait a fortnight before he explores Wildermore. I'll have to stand here in the snow, I suppose. But here we are. Ooh, I love looking at a new map in Wildermore. Balewood. Oh, that is excellent. The Witchshaws, the Writhen Downs. I just love that name. The Writhen Downs. Okay. The Fallows. The Witchshaws. Excellent. And this big old lake in the middle. Excellent. Okay. All right. Yeah, Ethelod was remembering Peter's presentation on Finnish, giving a little introduction to the Finnish language last time, which is really cool. Anyway, awesome. All right. Good. So anyway, definitely invited to Mythmoot, all of you. It'd be great to see many of you there. It's going to be a really, really good time. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining me here today. So I will see you guys if you can't make it to Mythmoot, I will see you guys in 2 weeks. I will be doing most of my normal broadcasts next week. Exploring the Lord of the Rings and Mythgard Academy will happen as usual next week. It's just the Friday I'll be Mythmooting. All right. Thanks, everybody. Druid's Fire's coming up next. Have a good rest of your day. Talk to you later. Bye. Thanks for joining in on my rambles around Standing Stone's brilliant digital adaptation of Tolkien's world. If you enjoy these adventures, please consider supporting this and other entertaining educational programming by donating at signumuniversity.org/fund.